What's up, crew? Welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply. Today we're going to take a look at my cleaned up and updated Infernoble deck profile. The one I showed in the one card combo video not too long ago was definitely not like a tested and refined deck. This one is much more so. So I'm excited to share it with you. We'll get right into it here. So these first 7 cards here are just your one card combo starters. We got the triple Neospace connector with the 1 Aqua Dolphin that it'll summon to make Isold. Then we got the 2 Sublimation Knight with the 1 Squeak Knight that it will summon to make Isold. The Sub Knight is at 2 because it's searchable off of Durandal and Rhoda, so you're really playing 6 copies of it. The Neospace connector is at 3 because it's only searchable off of the Rhoda, so you're playing 4 copies of it. Hopefully you're getting one of the 2 at least in your opening hand. Then we got our 3 Ogier. We're playing it at 3 because there needs to be one in the deck for the combo to go off, because this is what you're summoning off of Isold. That matters because having it be a level 4 means you can dump the 4 equip spells you need in the graveyard to make the combo work. Also, being able to equip it to your Charlemagne in the end phase is important because it sets up the lock with Metal Silver Armor if that's what you're playing for, which you will be playing for that because we aren't getting Angel Ring until like October or something. So you're going to be playing this deck with just the Metal Silver, and that lock is going to be important. We've got the 2 Turpin. This is what you're dumping off of Ogier. It's fine if you draw it. That's why we're playing 2 of them. Its effect can activate to special summon itself out of the graveyard or the hand as long as you got something equipped with something else. And you know, if you happen to draw both of them even, it's not the end of the world. I mean, obviously you don't want that, but you can still use its effects, still make the full combo go through, and having an extra one for like follow up on the following turn or something is not going to be that bad. We've got the 1 Ricciardetto. We're only playing it at 1 because its primary effect to be able to banish itself out of the hand or graveyard to special summon one is really more of like a follow up type of a play. We're playing it for its second effect. When you special summon it, it can target a level 4 or lower Fire Warrior in your graveyard and special summon that. So in the combo, you're going to special summon it off of Joyous being sent to the graveyard while equipped to Artorigus, and then it's going to special summon the Ricciardetto out of your hand. The Ricciardetto then will special summon probably Turpin or Ogier to make a level 5 Synchro, which will then be Angelica, and then the combo continues from there. So just the 1 seems plenty. You can have access to both effects, and you don't really need both effects outside of just the 1 or 2 times you might end up using them. Then we got the triple Renaud. I was not sure if I was even going to play this at more than 1. I really like it at 3. I suppose you could cut it to 2 and have it work the same way. Basically, it has a ton of interactions with the rest of the cards in the deck, so it's not like one specific use. It does a lot of stuff. So it can special summon itself and become a level 1 tuner that can make your level 7 Dragon Synchros level 8s. It can make your Gearfried into a Baron de Fleur. It also has a recursion effect, so when it special summons itself, you can take a Fire Warrior or equip spell out of your graveyard, put it back in your hand, and that's generic equip spell, not just your Noble Arms. So you can get like your Living Fossil for a searchable and reusable Monster Reborn, your Metal Silver, your Angel Ring, even your Noble Arms. If there's an effect there that you want to use, it recurs all those. And it really is kind of a cheeky little play to special summon this, get your Gearfried back out of the graveyard, banish the special, and then Synchro away for the Baron. It's like a free Baron, essentially, so I really like it at 3. I probably would keep it there, but if I needed room for something else, this could probably go to 2. Then we've got the 1 Oliver. It can act as a level 1 tuner if you special summon itself with its effect to discard a Fire Warrior or an equip spell. It also can be a level 4 tuner if you normal summon it or you special summon it via some other method. So it works as like an inverse to the Ricciardetto plus the Turpin being a level 1 and a level 4. It can be a level 1 or a level 4, as well as you have this Roland, which will be pretty easy to get on the board as an equip spell, and then you can special summon it off the museum, and so that would also give you access to a level 5 Synchro. So that little pairing I think was worth playing just for that interaction. And because the Roland I was going to play at 1 anyway, the main deck Roland you can quick play equip it to a monster on the field. So the way I'm using it is it's a search target off of Isold. When you summon the Isold, you search the main deck Roland to your hand right away, and then you just forget about it. Once you pass turn, you can quick play equip it to your Charlemagne. Charlemagne's effect will go off, copying the Charles to pop something on the field. So it's like a hand trap essentially at that point. And I thought for that alone it was worth playing, and then it just ended up working kind of well with the Oliver too. We've got the 1 Immortal Phoenix Gearfried because that negate is pretty useful and that's really easy to get on board. There's a lot of cards in the deck that can dump it to the graveyard. There's also quite a few that can add it back to your hand, and so it's just a really easy staple of Infernoble ever since the deck came out, right? And then the one Bradamante, this thing is pretty sweet, so you discard it and you can equip an equip spell from your deck to a monster that it can be equipped to. And the primary reason I'm playing it is because it gives you access to your Angel Ring or your Metal Silver Armor if you were not able to dump them in the combo with Isolde. Like if something happened, if they were able to clear it, or you know, whatever the case was, that doesn't mean that you no longer get that negate or that lock. You just would discard the Bradamante and equip it to that monster anyway, and so it's searchable. It acts as an Infernoble monster, so it's searchable off of like Durandal or whatever else you're searching Infernobles with. So at 1 felt like a really good inclusion. And then for another new card, we got Triple Revolution Synchron. This is coming out in Duelist Nexus with all of the new Infernoble support, everything except Angel Ring. And the reason we're playing it is it's a level 3 tuner that you can use as synchro material out of your hand. So you can only do that if you're summoning a Power Tool Dragon or a level 7 or 8 Dragon Monster. I think there's a new Power Tool, is a Power Tool Brave Dragon or something, which is a 9. Which probably we could fit in here too. Maybe cut that second Isolde for that. But any level 4 that you can summon to your field can then just become a Power Tool Dragon by using this in your hand as material to synchro summon. Also, when it's in your graveyard, you can mill one off the top of your deck to special summon it as a level 1 tuner, and then you can do that in the same turn. So you can summon it and then synchro away that Power Tool Dragon into your Crystal Wing or your Borreload Savage or whatever. So really, really useful card there. And then after you've gone through some of those other plays, it still is a level 3 tuner. If you ended up normal summoning up, I guess you could get your way into a Baron or a whatever else, a Charles, or you know, however you wanted to configure your deck around it. But this just seemed like too good of a card to not at least test out in here, and I've been liking it so far. So we got the 2 tuning to search the Revolution Synchron. We're playing that because if you can get one in your hand, so if you open your 1-card combo, say your Neospace Connector, and then you're able to get a Revolution Synchron in your hand, you would then have access to making like a Borreload or a Clear or a Crystal Wing on your following turn, because you have that Angelica just sitting there not doing anything now that you've already summoned your Roland out of your extra deck. So it all kind of fits in there real nice. We got 2 copies of the Noble Arms Museum, the field spell. It gets searched by Angelica during the main combo. Once it's on the field, you can pay 1,200 life points, add a Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand. After you've used that effect, you can then special summon one of your equipped Infernoble monsters to the field. So essentially, in the combo, it gets you a level 4 body to make your King Charles. After the combo is done, a great majority of your main deck ends up in your graveyard, and so you would have access, they all equip themselves to monsters on the field, so you would have access to like whatever monster you want as follow-up, and that's just super, super good. So you can kind of like manipulate levels or effects that you want by equipping them to something and then just summoning them, and now you have access to them. So really great support there. We've got 2 copies of Heritage of the Chalice. It's like a Rhoda for Noble Knight monsters or Noble Arms cards. It also can recycle itself from your graveyard back to your hand if a Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Arms card gets killed, and so 2 seemed like plenty for that reason. We've got the one Joyous. It's got the recycling effect, so it can put one of your Fire Warriors back in your hand. We're usually going to be using it as a combo piece, so when it's equipped to something and then that something goes to the graveyard and it gets sent along with it, you can special summon a Fire Warrior out of your hand. That Fire Warrior is probably going to be Ricciardetto as long as everything is going the way you want it to, and then Ricciardetto will summon a level 4 non-tuner and then make Angelica, and that's the center of the combo there. But once you get past that, it's recyclable with like Almace's first effect, and so you can start using that to start getting some of your stuff back. Probably the Gear Freed, that's going to be a target to get removed pretty frequently. We're playing triple copies of Durandal. I had it at 2, I bumped it to 3 just because I'm playing the Revolution Synchron, and you're going to be looking at probably summoning the Power Tool Dragon, and so if you happen to Power Tool Dragon and you have all 3 of these in your deck still, you can just search it out outright. Really, the Power Tool Dragon, you're not playing as the main like search of originally it was used to search DDR, which we are not playing anymore just because there's not space. Now, if you were to summon the Power Tool, the search effect is like just a bonus, and then you're immediately synchroing up into a board control card like Borreload or Crystal Wing. But the 3 still felt fine for that reason. Also, the Sub Knight being searchable, the Bradamante being searchable, a lot of the other, everything, just about the entire deck is searchable off of Durandal, so felt fine to play at 3. Its secondary effect also is kind of nice as follow-up, so once, if it's equipped to something and that something goes to the graveyard, it can special summon a level 5 or lower, so even after you've searched a bunch of stuff, it still can keep searching essentially out of your graveyard, which a lot of the deck, it kind of functions in that way initial effects are to search everything out of your deck, secondary effects are to search everything out of your graveyard, and it all just kind of fits. We've got the one Almace. I kind of mentioned when it's equipped, you can send it to the graveyard, and you're essentially like replacing itself with a different Noble Arms equip it to something on the field. When it's equipped to something and it goes to the graveyard, it can return a Fire Warrior from your graveyard to your hand, so once again, looking to get that gear freed back. And then into our generic equips, we've got the one Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. It's just recyclable all day long. Banish 2 warriors, put it back in your hand. A lot of the effects in the deck will revolve around something being equipped with an equip spell, and so just having this as a free equip spell out of your graveyard over and over and over again is just great. It's a great fit into the deck. The one Angel Ring, say no to a spell. The first spell that gets activated on your opponent's turn every single turn for free is nuts. It's pretty easily equipable through the Isold Dump and then the Charles equip in the end phase, or through like the Bradamante search effect. So just a great card, free negation. Would never not play it. We've got the one Metal Silver Armor to make the Ogier lock. So if this is equipped to your Charles, and then Ogier is equipped to your Charles, Metal Silver makes it so that only that Charles can be targeted with effects, and then Ogier makes it so that the monster it's equipped to can't be destroyed by card effects, and so you're shutting down a ton of targeting removal that exists. You would have to remove it with non-targeting removal or non-destruction removal, and so it makes it kind of a little bit of a hurdle to jump over for your opponent to start clearing out your board. We've got the one Living Fossil because it's essentially a searchable Monster Reborn in this deck, the one Rhoda because it's a warrior deck, and the one Called By because hand traps really fuck you up with this level of comboing. For the extra deck, we got the one Roland. It's just what's getting tagged in when your Angelica tags out, and then it can quick effect equip itself to something on the field, so it works similar to the main deck Roland and kind of acts as the same thing. I'm playing both of them because you need something to search off of that Isold anyway, and if it can generate some more advantage for you, why not? Also, this is in your graveyard, meaning it can be like targeted and removed, like banished, so you can lose access to that quick effect, where the Roland in your hand, it would be a lot harder to do that. The one Angelica is a main combo piece when it gets targeted with an effect, so it's going to be your own effect to equip something out of the graveyard. It'll tag itself out, put the Roland on board, and then it'll also search your museum, so that's really good. It also returns to the board in the M phase, so it's a level 5 on board that you can then use to like Synchro Summon or Link Summon with on your next turn. We've got the one Black Rose. It feels a little bit outdated. I suppose a comeback card is not bad, and it's pretty easy to summon with your Revolution Synchron. Just blow the board up. I could see this being replaced with something else if I found something more interesting. The one Ancient Fairy Dragon is just a level 7 fairy. Because your museum is a field spell, if your opponent is playing field spells also, I guess technically you could search the field spell with this. Otherwise, you're going to level 7 Synchro it, and then you can special summon a level 4 or lower from your hand. So you can extend your combos in that way. For level 7 Dragon Synchros that have like immediate combo extension effects, I was not coming across many that I liked all that much. So Ancient Fairy just fit there pretty well. The one Power Tool, just because it can be summoned, it's a level 7, it's pretty easy to summon. The Borreload and the Crystal Wing, I think I've said it a couple times now, they're just really good board control level 8 Synchros that are kind of free. If you have the Revolution Synchron plus any level 4, you can Synchro your way up to these pretty quickly there. The one King Charles, because it's a centerpiece of your main combo, it's how you get your Charlemagne on board. The one Baron de Fleur, because it just does everything for nothing, and it's a great card, that's why it's so very expensive. The one Artorigus, this is the only Noble Knight card that we're playing. I had Custonin and the rank 5 Artorigus in here, and I cut them just because they kind of sucked. Either they sucked or I just wasn't using them quite the way they should have been, but I was never finding a reason to use them, and so I just made room for some other stuff. This one is great though, so when he gets summoned, take up to 3 Noble Arms spells out of your graveyard, equip them to him, and then you can detach material and destroy any number of spell or traps in the field up to the number of Noble Arms equipped spells that you control. So in the combo, if you are going second at that moment, you're going to have 2 at least. You're going to have the Joyous and the Durandal, so you can pop 2 back row. If it's later in the game when you summon this for whatever reason, you can easily have 3 and pop 3 back row. So just a good utility card. And then he'll typically you're going to Durandal search and then Joyous, keep him equipped and link him away and get your special summon for Ricky Ardetto. We've got the one Charlemagne. He's a beast. I love this. This is probably one of my favorite Link monsters at this point. His effect to equip the King Charles to it it's super unique. It's really interesting, and then he copies all the effects, so he's just a big beast, like a big floodgate monster almost. Got the 2 ice sold. I could cut it to 1. I don't know that you're really ever going to need the second one unless you get shut down super early on in your combo right away. But even if you do, you can usually like play through it okay because you have quite a bit of extension power in your main deck monsters. So that being the case, I could cut this for like, I don't know, like an Access Code or an Appaloosa or whatever that other new Power Tool guy is. That one there, Power Tool Braver Dragon as your level 9. You just fit that in there because it's pretty easy to make level 9 synchros in this deck. That would be another option. We've got the 1 Ferocious Flame Swordsman that is just a combo piece. Outside of that, I guess the attack bump is okay, but it's not really that important. He's used more to trigger the effects of the equipped Noble Arms cards that aren't using their main effects in order to continue your combo. And then we've got the 1 Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. It fits in the deck pretty well. It's a warrior monster already, and it's pretty easy to hit that level 7 requirement to get the additional effects. You're already playing like the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried that we have a ton of ways to just recycle back to the hand, so you can link it away and get it back and summon it again anyway. You have your level 7s that don't really do anything for you, mostly just these 2, after they've been summoned and used their initial effect. And so if you didn't want to link or synchro up into one of these guys, you would just link it away into this. Like, there's a lot of ways you can summon this and make use of it. But that'll wrap it up for this one. If you guys have any additional like tech choices, or there's a way you've built the deck that's different than this way, I'd love to hear about it. There's so many different ways to play this deck just because of, you know, the many different tech options that there are for it. So anything like that, leave in the comments down below. I'd like to see it. I'm sure other people would like to see it as well. Happy deck building. I'll see you guys in a few days. Have a good one. Goodbye.